Welcome to the Whitetail Advantage podcast with your host, Brett Bovin. Thank you for tuning in and enjoy the show.
What is up, everybody? It is the week before Memorial Day weekend, so this is going to be our last show for about 2 weeks.
Thanks,
so we wanted to start it early. We got a lot of things to dive into. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about how deer basically people think they're disappearing when they're really not disappearing. But before we get into that, Johnny, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. I know you've kind of been busy on Grindr and all, but I just want to check on you.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Just traveling the country for work.
You're lucky. So, I bet it's nice though, but I bet at some points you kind of getting a little tired of it because of the constant traveling of it all.
The constant travel, and like last week, it was supposed to be a quick trip down to Orlando, fly down Tuesday, fly back Wednesday morning, and my original flight was supposed to get back home at like midnight. It didn't come in until 3 a.m.
Oh man!
Like it was a shit show at every single airport I went to that day.
Yeah, so, I bet the airport part of it all is like the bitch part of it all.
Oh, that's the worst, man.
He likes TSA though when they freaking pull his pants down for his search.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
You love that part. You're like, hey, I'm smuggling drugs. And they're like,
oh.
I purposely put stuff in there just to get searched by TSA.
And then it's just a roll of Smarties candies he shoves up there.
Half a roll.
And he's like, they're like, what the hell is this? And he's like, I just did that because I like to search.
Yeah, don't you want to? You might want to look better. You might have some more candy in there.
Squatch, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm freaking miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turkeys are kicking my ass up here.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, they got their new show out there from the Frank and Squatch show. Make sure to check that one out. They talked about how the turkey hunts that still hunt them.
Yeah, it's still haunting me. I went out today and didn't even hear a freaking gobble. I went out yesterday and didn't hear a gobble either. Hunted a piece of state land and with some friends and stuff. Well, old Lewis Louder, my buddy there that makes the calls, we went out and somebody walked in between us when we got set up, kicked a bird off the roost. It didn't even cackle flying down. I was like, there goes that morning. So, that was it. And then this morning I went over where I grew up. Them birds been banging since freaking April. They're all tired out. They're massaging their freaking, you know what, and they're on ice because they've banged it's either that or I got gay turkey. I think they transitioned and they don't talk to a hen call anymore. I got to go, hey, and then maybe they'll gobble back. But, oh, shit, did I, get on that freaking gay shit? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did.
You shouldn't bash them gay people.
Just get Dave on, a recorded line and just say, hey, and there you go.
That'd be perfect. Dave. Yeah, when Dave goes, gay.
Yeah, just play Dave.
I just have Dave record that. And, gay.
And there's your turkey call.
Yeah. No, I think they transitioned really over there. I haven't been able to even hear one gobble. I'm like, yeah, they've just, decided they're going to be a trans turkey gender or something. So, I don't know.
Well, Brett, how's your turkey season been?
Non-existent. Thank you.
Oh,
thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But he's got a brand new see-through blind that he won on our freaking raffle.
And I want it fair square too, so I don't want people thinking.
Square. He absolutely did. I mean, you can't get I spun the damn thing in front of everybody right here. Okay,
yep.
So he won it. I mailed it out yesterday. It's coming to you. And if Flavors gets on tonight, you've got a flavor pack coming to you too from Flavors.
Ooh,
you got to just got to give him his he'll be on. I bet he'll be on. If not, I'll make sure he sends it to you. But he said, hey, I want to throw in the garlic stuff with you too. So that was nice of him to jump on with that.
Yeah, love Flavors of Force. Those guys are great.
And what you can do is you can just line them all up and do lines of the garlic while you're hiding in the line and get all amped up. Yeah,
get all jacked up. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Fish like raw garlic. I don't know if deer do though. Yeah.
I do want to jump into one little point though, because it is after May 13th, and here in Michigan we had a big vote. Johnny, how are you feeling about it? Let's just say this: there is now Michigan is a $1 state starting next year. from the official rulings from what I gathered, because there was a lot to decipher through it all. You can buy the $1 tag, but it's an APR of 3 points on one side, or you buy the combo tag. It's $1, no APR, and buy the dough tag, but you can also still buy a dough tag too. Johnny, I know you were in favor of the $1. All right, do you like this vote?
I was in favor of earn a buck.
That's right. I was in favor of earn a buck, and I still think that's the route to go.
Yeah, but I mean, what, July or something? It goes right back up, and they're going to discuss it again.
Yeah, so like they were talking about doing a earn a buck in the select areas or zones or something like that for trial runs, but as of right now, that's what's in place. The vote approved. I think it was 4-3 when I was watching it on YouTube, and it's going to be back up again in July. So it's not official yet, but
it's all going to change again.
Yeah, I was in favor of earn a buck. Can you tell me your reasons why you were in favor of earn a buck? I want to see if it match up with mine.
It gets more people to harvest does. How many hunters do you know where they will shoot 2 bucks and let does watch? And there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's on you. But if they did the whole earn a buck, it forces other hunters to shoot does. And we have so many does around here. I mean, you know that. Well, half of that when you're in the woods.
Yeah. No, I agree with you completely. I thought earn a buck would be the right place to go because it'd force people to shoot another doe to get a second buck, and it would help with the doe population. Now it's just like people are just going to go shoot their $1 and be done with, like, they don't really give a shit anymore. Like, you're not really solving anything. And I think when I was looking through some numbers, I think you would see like a very modest little look. And I swear, I think, and I don't swear, I believe this wholeheartedly. The people that wanted the $1 to have this happen here in the state of Michigan, they wanted to create a trophy management system forced upon hunters here in the state of Michigan.
And that's fine and dandy if that's what they want to do on private. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but then to take that,
we have too many deer around here for it to be a trophy state. If we go down to it already is the $1 state, that's just going to mean more deer out there not harvested that's going to get hit by cars.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty country out here, but I mean, how many times do you see dead deer from your house to where you work? There's probably a dozen dead deer, I bet you, Brett.
I've got 5 dead deer I seen last week from my house to work.
Yeah, they're everywhere out here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll see an increase in 2027 of dead deer on the road. This year we can still harvest 2 bucks, so I'm intending to. The old timer that we had on here where everyone thought he had passed away from old age, but he's actually still kicking, Dave. I know he was for the whole $1 and all of that bullshit, but Dave's also old and gets out 3 times a year hunting. So the most he can do is $1. So his opinion doesn't really give two shit.
I think it's just he can probably drag out maybe $1 and then he's done for the season.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. And that's hooking it to his truck and then driving it out.
Yeah.
I understand.
So I'm gonna make a power statement here. This plan that Michigan just put in effect is gonna totally effing fail, like big time.
Oh yeah.
And everybody's gonna be sitting around going, "Oh, I told us so. I told us so." Okay, you guys.
We're already losing hunters as it is. I think this is going to cause the problem. Then we're going to lose more hunters too, because that's not. Yeah, they keep talking about how they want to get more hunters and retain hunters, but we're not doing that. Nothing to really. They talk about doing like these classes and stuff like that, but I don't know.
No.
So New York. Oh, sorry, Johnny, but New York now. What they want to do is you get your tags. Right, they're going to have an early season like they always do to knock down the doe population. Fine, dandy. I don't care. I shoot does anyway. You're going to shoot a buck, but then you got to shoot a doe to get your second buck tag. That's what they're trying to do here.
And that's what I think that's a great way to go. And I think people kept saying like they were saying here in Michigan like we don't have the resources. I'm like, we still have to register the deer online. And then people kept saying, well, they'll just cheat or somehow. I'm like, they're going to do that no matter what. So
Yeah.
you're going to increase. You guys only shoot $1. There's going to be guys out there with spotlights and freaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to. You're still going to have poachers. It's still going to change anything. And I think it was like 6.8%. They said people harvest $2. I think the number was or something. I said, and then they kept saying like, well, that's only affecting 6.8% of the hunters. That doesn't count the people that are actually out there trying to shoot their second buck. They just didn't fucking do it.
Your upper UP didn't change though.
No, the UP has changed, stay the same.
Okay.
And they kept saying how we failed them, but I don't think.
You know what I don't understand, and I mean, I'm not a biologist that gets $100,000 a year to freaking. I'm a simple guy. Go out and hunt and shoot and kill shit, but you want to freaking control the doe population. Okay, when is a doe knocked up? After hunting season. You shoot one doe. How many deer do you kill? 3. Well, duh, there's a freaking idea. Shoot pregnant freaking does after the season, and maybe make it to be where like you get a credit back to your tag for the next season that you knocked down 3 doe that you called in, that you after you shot them, you say, hey, I want to tag this doe and I killed her, or whatever. And then you killed 3 deer for 1 shot. There's a way to control the population, not just, you got to go out and do. They're idiots, man. I'm sorry. I've got no respect. Don't fire me up because
that's a good point. I got a good point to that because they actually voted on something too. I don't know. I'm sure Johnny knows about it too, but I want to say this so I don't forget it. The reason they kept saying they want a $1 is because, well, these other big states, they have a $1 rule in place and they're shooting these monster deer and we want to create a better hunting experience for these people. And I said, there's other states out there that can shoot $2 and they have great experiences. Yeah, so don't give me this, it's a $1 or it's we need a hunting experience. And I'm like, just shut the fuck up. No, you just want a trophy management and you're using age structure to hide the fact you want to create a trophy management and put it in place for everyone that has to follow it. That's what you did now, and you got it approved.
You know where it's going to hurt them in the long run? They're going to find out is that they just raped themselves out of freaking a ton of money.
Yeah, I think they estimated about $6 billion almost. Maybe I'm surprised they voted. But anyways, they also got rid of the late antlerless season too.
Yep.
Really?
That got passed.
Kind of pointless.
Yep. How do you feel about that? I never did it, but I wanted to do it. I don't know reason why I didn't do it, but they made some good points on there where I was listening to one guy. He said, generally bucks do drop their antlers in that time frame, but not all of them. It's all depending on when they got their testosterone in the rut.
Oh yeah.
So you can't necessarily go off of that, but I like the point that road that he was trying to go on, that you might be shooting a buck, not realizing because they dropped their antlers in the antlerless season. So I get the road that he's trying to go on.
Yep.
So I'm still trying to figure out if I'm on board with that or not.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this one?
What
about the fact that they took away shotgun zone and it's strictly any legal hunting cartridge now?
Yeah, you don't even.
Yeah, they got rid of the DMU. Yeah. That one.
You know how many 350s and 450s were sold to hunters the past 5 years, and now they can go out and shoot whatever the hell they want?
Savage and Remington and all them are going. Yeah,
you're going to be hearing that all over.
Yeah.
I think it only got a vote, but I think it was a 4-3 vote too on that one because a lot of them were concerned for safety reasons. Dude, I don't gun hunt.
Hillbillies out there with guns, they're for the most part they're pretty fucking safe, dude.
Yeah. And I liked how there was one guy, I can't remember his name right now, basically how they're calling hunters sloppy and shit. Like,
really?
Oh my God. He said that on live air YouTube. Wow.
Man.
But
so Brett, let me ask you something because now I'm thinking about it. You're just a $1 guy anyway because you only bow hunt. You don't go out with a rifle.
He's only shot $1.
Yeah, my entire life I've only shot $1.
No. I'm not being a dick. I'm just saying you literally, like when you buy your tags, you technically only shoot $1 because you're a bow hunter only.
Well, we can.
No, I can shoot. You can still shoot bow. You can. I just don't. And Johnny, maybe you can correct me on this, but I've thought. So my dad and I go back and forth during the gun season. You can't. He thinks you still can't gun hunt. You can't bow hunt when during gun season.
Yeah, you can.
But
But you have to wear hunter's orange.
Well, you have to wear hunter's orange. But when you read the season for it, it closes, and that's the gun season. So it's like,
Yep.
in my mind, that's a gray area, and I just didn't do it just to be on the safe side.
Huh.
But yes, you still have to wear hunter's orange. But no, you can shoot $2 here
During
because you had
archery
them.
season.
Yeah.
New York, you can hunt. You can hunt crossbow bow all through the seasons. So if you have bow season, you can hunt with a bow or a crossbow. When rifle season starts, you can still hunt with your bow and arrow.
Yep.
You got to wear blaze orange because it's rifle season, and you're an asshole if you don't, because you're going to get shot. You're going to get shot. I'm telling you. So don't be stupid. Wear orange. But, yeah, New York allows you. That's what I'm saying. Like, like I'm saying to myself, I'm like, yeah, he's, like pretty much against that $1 ruling, but I'm going, well, he can only shoot $1.
Nope, we can shoot two during archery season.
You can kill $2 during normal archery season?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
As long as once the season opens, you can shoot them.
We can't. We only get $1 with the bow, $1 with the rifle.
Oh, and see, so many states do so many weird, different shit, and it's
Yeah.
like, and that's why I was saying for so long when I kept hearing like what I was suggesting of how we can improve was like look at other states and how they improving, and how can we take kind of a blueprint of what they're doing to help what we're doing here in Michigan. It's not a copy and paste thing what we can do.
No.
Michigan is a different entity, and they keep saying like, well, we got Indiana, you got Illinois, and Ohio, and all these other things and factors. And I said, no, Michigan is a one in a breed state in my mind. You have the UP, then the Northern Michigan, and the Southern Michigan. Yeah. They're basically 3 states in one. You can't copy and paste what another one's doing there. We have our own different things going on. We got wolves, bears, and all these predation shit up north. Then you got diseases. Then you have just the winter itself, the harshness of that all. Collisions, because we have a high deer population because people don't want to shoot the does. And I'm going to say it again, and I want to make sure I hot clip this shit, so make sure I can run this later. The only reason people wanted $1 state, yes, you might deep down believe it was an age structure thing, but no, you wanted to create a trophy state for all of Michigan had to follow it. You can't just go to your neighbors and be like, hey, let's create trophy management between our neighbors and stuff like that. No, now you pushed it so hard, they approved it because you want to create that to draw more people here. And that's the wrong idea. Earn a buck is my route to the go. I've been suggesting it because it forced, like Johnny said perfectly too, it forced hunters to shoot a doe in order to get that second buck to help put more meat in their freezer. And I'll say this again too. We are losing sight on what hunting truly is all about. We'll get to our topic here about the show here after this clip. We're losing what hunting is all about. Hunting was not going about, and yes, don't get me wrong, I want to shoot the biggest deer possible. I know Johnny does. I know any hunter out there wants to shoot the biggest world-class deer. That's what we want to do. But at the end of the day, hunting for me is being able to go outside, enjoy being in a tree, being close to God, being in the peace, serenity of all the things that nature has to provide. And I know I'm out there to put meat in the freezer for my family. And that's something I can teach my kids to do. And it's get time around with friends and family and share stories, make up lies and all this other crap. That's what hunting's all about. And we've been losing sight of that for a long time. I get the science behind, to get better deer and this and that. Fuck, they weren't doing that shit back when they were shooting sticks at them.
No.
Now it's a big thing. Like, I get we have technology, but again, we're losing what the point hunting is all about.
I want to bring something up that just crossed my mind too. I mean, a $1 state or whatever. But look at like freaking New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. They have lotteries. Okay, you want to control the deer population? Apply for a freaking lottery, right? Okay, you might get to be out of the woods, not even hunting a deer for 2 years, right? You want to control how many deer get shot, build bigger deer? Throw a lottery system in there. You know what I'm saying?
We used to have one for does.
Yeah.
You remember that, Brett?
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it used to be you'd put in for a draw and you could get one doe tag a year.
Yeah.
When was that?
That was back in the 90s.
I was born in '93, so that's probably why I don't know it.
Oh yeah.
I'm still a young pup.
And
Yeah.
the other point too, like I said, our brother Frank, he hunts in New Jersey. So they got to shoot a doe to earn the buck. You got to kill a doe first, right? But they're allowed 7 freaking deer. And every year,
Not deer, bucks. They're allowed 7 bucks.
$7.
And he's still seeing
This
giant
is
deer.
New Jersey. This is New Jersey. It's not, like, a fenced in high hunt, whatever the hell you call it. It's not that. This dude shows me 150, 130, 140-inch deer every year on the same piece of property. And they're shooting $7.
Yeah.
How do you figure taking $1 a year is going to make any difference when these guys are killing $7? And when you look at the numbers, because people go, well, it's a different state, so no. And they can bait, They just can't hunt over the bait. They got to be 100 yards away from it. And they're killing deer. But they're going to say, oh, well, you know what? It's a different state. Look at the numbers up. You guys in Michigan are like, I think you're killing like 300 more deer a year.
Yeah.
You're killing more.
The blind hunter, he commented, we used to be a $1 for bow and $1 for rifle with a doe drawing.
Doe drawing, yeah. That was early on. Yep.
Yeah. But no, you made a good point there, Squatch. After talking with Frank after last week's show, I was like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I told you guys, the way I grew up, from the time I was a kid, I mean, deer like the big one that's over my shoulder over there, I used to see deer like that all the time growing up. Herds of like 50, 60 deer in a row at a time. My cousins would come up from the city and just shoot anything that moved. My grandfather's garage was full of deer to butcher up. And I'm like, well, shit, I hope there's something left for me. And then next year, guess what? We did it again. And there was always freaking bucks there. But then you know what happened? Okay, in 2020, that stupid bullshit EHD, government-made, whatever it is, came in and knocked out my freaking population of bucks over there. Okay? I found deer after deer after deer dead in those swamps. You couldn't even walk in the woods. It stunk so bad.
Yeah.
And now, 5 years later, 6 years later, I've got 4.5-year-old bucks that are just starting to make their way back. What happens to Michigan if that happens to you guys on a $1 thing? And they didn't, now what? Now they got to adjust for that? You guys are going to be in sad freaking shape.
Yeah, you think EHD would have taught them the last couple of years, especially the last couple of years, with the amount of deer that it killed. So
how many deer? And I think that's when I first joined the show. You guys got whaled with it hard, man. You guys, you had deer on. Johnny had beautiful bucks on camera.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while he had MacGyver on there too. But he was showing me. He's like, hey, look it. I'm like, oh, that's going to be a dandy. I mean, these were bucks in velvet in August, and then in September, and then you got the drought. And he's like, dude, it's devastation. I'm like, what happened? He's like, EHD. They're dying all over the place. I don't even have all the bucks I was after. They're all freaking dead. Well, there you go. Good job. Now you freaking lost like 150 freaking deer in one, maybe 250 acre tract or 300 acre tract. And you're going to go to a freaking $1 state or, $1 kill. It's going to backfire so bad, man. I'm going to laugh. I'm just going to laugh.
Anyways, for tonight's show, that's a little rant from our little vote that we had here in Michigan.
Use my whole name too.
See if it changes here. Use your full name, Squad.
My full name. Use my full name.
Anyways, tonight's show, we're talking about deer disappearing.
Like
I said, every year hunters say the same thing. The deer disappeared.
Yep.
But the truth is, they didn't.
Nope.
They changed most of the time because of us. So
what
in
do they
tonight's
do?
show, we're going to talk about the hunting pressure that actually does.
What do they do, though?
They're there. They're just
but what do
changing
they
their
do?
movement.
Why did they disappear?
Because of us.
No.
They
Hunting
go
pressure.
nocturnal.
They go nocturnal.
Johnny hit it. What'd you say, Johnny?
They go nocturnal. They just change up their pattern, move at night.
Deer are nocturnal animals.
I like there was one post. I think I was going through someone's Instagram page and I saw someone commented on there and they said, well, I did a study and that's in fact a lie. And I was like, Well, that's a bullshit. How can you say? I don't know. I don't want to
Yeah.
get into that, but someone said that.
Well, get into it.
Any-
Good.
I,
Call him out. Fight him, Brett.
Yeah,
I'd have to look. I don't even remember the post that it was on. I just
I
remember reading
saw it.
that post.
That's why I brought it up. I saw that same post. And that's why I said, "What'd you say, Johnny?" They went, "What?" He said, "Nocturnal," and that's right.
Yeah, it's true.
Why the
And
guy said deer aren't nocturnal, I don't know, because deer are more active at night than anything. That qualifies an animal as nocturnal. They don't feed hardly sometimes through the day, but you'll see them feeding more at night when you shine a spotlight in the field.
I like to think of deer. Like growing up, I just used to think, oh, these are deer. They're just stupid. They're just going out there and running around. No, these deer are actually fairly fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
Okay. I like to think of bucks as old men. Okay. They get old. They don't want to be bothered. They want to be safe. So when they start feeling the pressure, they go hiding. And when they go hide, they want to be in thick cover to protect themselves from all surroundings. They want to put themselves in good areas where they can see and smell and hear everything perfectly. Heck, the Missouri Department of Conservation consistently noted that pressured deer become more difficult to hunt because they change behavior, not because they leave. So they're there. They
They're
just
there.
turn all nocturnal. So they're remaining in the same area. You just got to figure out how are they operating now because of it. And that kind of leads me into one of my other points that I've been trying to do is last couple of years I've been talking about, and I've kind of been doing it so far, but I haven't implemented it fully yet.
Waking up early.
Take an energy drink.
Sorry, you're being serious and
No, you're good. No, I like that.
Yeah,
That was a good one.
shut
That was a
up.
good one. That was a good one.
Cheap
Is,
shots are funny. Go ahead.
Everything's on this show. Training a deer like cattle out there. Like
Yeah.
I got deer here in my neighborhood. They'll walk up 50 yards from my fence line,
Yep.
and I'm just standing there, and they're all like, "Oh, hey, Brett, how's it going?" And they could care less.
Right.
You go out to the woods, and you see the deer. They get very jumpy. They get very skittish. Hell, the deer out there, I call the does freaking Einsteins of the wood because they'll see me blink, and they're like, "Oh, hey, nope, I'm gonna run away."
Yep.
So there are people that believe that nope, stay out of it till hunting season. No, I try to go out there once every 2 weeks. Just kind of do a quick little lap around there.
Yeah.
To show like there's like this human presence out there. Because I don't want it to be like this new entity that just arrived out there in the woods and they're all like, well, what's this thing out here now? I'm all skittish of it. I don't know what's going on. The less you can make the deer skittish, the less that you're going to make them turn nocturnal and make them less likely to shift their patterns and movement and stuff like that. That's my theory of it all. Have I seen research or anything to back it up? No, I'm literally just going based off of what I see here in my neighborhood and how I can implement it out in the woods. Because when I was going to Western Michigan University, they had 10-point bucks walking everywhere in the middle of campus. And they were like, oh, yeah, granted, you can't hunt there, but I was just kind of taking that kind of mentality to the woods and seeing if I can implement it there. And so far last year, even though it sucked because EHD kicked my ass,
yeah,
the deer weren't really that jumpy. They were just like, oh, okay, how we going? So,
no, that's about right.
there was another point. If anyone want to jump in on that, I gotta find it real quick.
I can tell you honestly from hunting a couple different perspectives, deer here close to my house are very tolerable of human scent because I have apple pickers out in the orchards. If you were to ride in, like say, whatever, you drive into the spot, get out of the truck, shut the door, move, they don't care. It's like, oh, it's just workers, we're used to that shit. You go pull that shit up on the mountain where I hunt, and you're not watching your scent. And I'm talking like downwind scent cone shit too. They don't care. They're just like, oh, it's a picker. Where from the time they're born, they see Miguel and Jose out there picking the apples in the orchard. So they're like, oh, it's human scent. I would think I would smell a little better though, but I'm just saying, They're used to that shit here, but don't go pulling that shit on a 5.5-year-old buck in the mountain.
Oh,
You
dude,
know?
there's like any
my
urban
theory?
deer versus, or like where Brett hunt or lives. You know, it's a nice
Yeah.
little gated community.
Right.
So the deer are at peace.
That's not
wandering
gated.
around.
You
Well,
said
it's gonna be
gay?
the same.
A gay
Oh yeah, it's a
community?
gay dating
Gay
community.
community. Yeah. Hi, Dolly. Hi, Dolly.
But yeah, I mean, where I hunt on state land versus where I hunt on private, completely different. I mean,
Yeah.
the deer on public are super skittish and just, you know, they'll jump at anything. The deer out where I hunt on private, not so much. One of my spots is right on a golf course, which is pretty ridiculous. The deer just come and go as they please. And then my other spot on the farm that I hunt, I mean, it hasn't been hunted in 20 years. And just putting a trail camera out there, I had a buck working a scrape right away.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, like this is a decent area. And I would sit up there and I'd change a couple spots, but I mean, there's no pressure there, and you could definitely tell.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes them, you know, like early bow. That's why I love like early, like you get out there the first week or two of bow.
Oh, absolutely.
Deer are just so relaxed, man. They're nonchalant. They're feeding. It hasn't dawned on them yet that, you know, death from above is just waiting. But man, I'm telling, and I hate rifle season. I despise rifle season. I hate it. I hunt it. I like shooting shit with a gun, but I hate what it does to the deer around here because bucks that I've been after, oh, dude, they go on lockdown. They're freaking going in the thickest shit in the swamp, briar patches, close to housing. Like they know that they don't get human scent back there. They tuck up close to houses. And that's how I killed my buck back here. He was bedding close in the thick shit behind a couple of houses, and I figured him out. And then I made a mock scrape with Gerard's cool stuff that he's got, and then I killed him. But you gotta the pressure. I mean, pressure knocks a deer nocturnal. They're already nocturnal anyway. Their eyes are built to see better in the dark than they are in the day. They feed predominantly at night, but they know Squatch is out there with his freaking high-powered rifle, and he's going to blow my brains out. I got to be careful what I'm doing. But that all goes to the wayside for that couple of weeks when the rut kicks in. They start losing their minds. They don't care if you're standing there 10 feet away to them. You know, they don't care. They want that doe. So for somebody to say, my deer disappear, yes, they do. They go on lockdown. You know, turkeys do the same thing. You know, a hen gets 10 to 13 eggs into her clutch. Now she's sitting in the nest. She's not moving around. Toms are like, where'd she go? She used to come through here at like 6 o'clock. She's not here. So they get shut up. They're not calling anything because they don't see it. So now you're out mid-season. You're trying to call a bird in, and they're just like, well, no, I'm not going to do that. Turkeys do it. Deer do it. Deer lock down. The bucks, I'm telling you, you screw up on a 4.5, 5.5-year-old buck. Good luck, because the only time you're going to get them is right at the end of the rut or in the rut. And they do. My trail cameras don't freaking lie. I run them, 24/7 all year round. I watch bucks come through when they know it's safe. And then you know what the magic time is? About 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. It definitely knocks a deer nocturnal. A deer will lock down. They don't have to get up and feed. They do have to stand up and chew their cud because they have 7 pockets in their stomach. And then they can sit back down. So a buck doesn't have to get up and move to feed. He's got enough what he munched on all night. He can lay there. He'll watch you walk in through the mountain laurels and go, yep, I'm over here, dummy. Keep going to your stand. And you'll walk by, and then you'll come back out with your light, going back to your car to get warm because you froze your ass off all day. And what's he do? Gets up. And he walks out. He goes to where he feeds. Now he wants to screw a little bit. He does that. And then the next thing you know, he's walking past your trail camera at 2 a.m. So they go nocturnal, man. I don't give a crap. I've been hunting for a long damn time. I knew it before trail cameras. I knew, my deer disappeared. Where the hell are they? They're not even moving. Where are they moving? They're moving at night. Take your guns out of your truck, whatever weapons you got. Throw a spotlight in your truck. Go drive where you can get a feel. Guarantee you your buck that you've been watching and hoping you get, standing there looking at you going, moo. So
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand too. I mean, it wasn't last year because last year EHD got them all, but the year before I was watching this one deer. I called what was his nickname? Anyways, it doesn't matter.
Right? Hook.
He was a nice 12 pointer, and he had like these two cool little kicker sticker things on him on his G2s. Beautiful deer. Okay.
Yep.
And was watching for a while. Saw him a lot in September. Then bam, didn't see him at all. And then it was like the third week of October. I had a trail camera just on like this main trail on a place where it's like I don't really give a shit. I mainly just put it to see if anything walks by it. And he just puts the run right in front of him. I'm like, what the fuck's he doing way over here? There's no reason for him to be over here. And it was 3:00 in the morning.
Yep.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I kept looking. I was like, oh, okay. There's a good water source over there. He's walking towards a food source. Then probably behind that, and I guarantee he was probably going to bed on the west side of that food source.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, it was November 14th or 13th or something before that. I was out in my tree stand, and sure as shit, he's out in the cornfield I was hunting on, chasing this doe around just 100 yards northwest from where I saw him on the trail camera. But they just changed their behavior, and I think in some form or capacity, it's like they know deep down hunting season started. Mainly because I'm going off of where I've hunted. I can't say for public. Johnny could say that more. We only have probably about 3 to 4 hunters that bow hunt on the property that I hunt. So you can't really say maybe that's a little overpressure because that first couple weeks, it's really just me out there. But even then, it's like they just like know. And you can over scout sometimes. The reason I'm saying that is you can over scout. So I know they tend to go out there a lot and they scout these deer on the property because they all love the gun hunt.
Yep.
You can over scout an area and create the same pressure as you're doing it here in the hunting season. So they're going to be changing their behavior too based off of that information as well. So don't over scout it. You have to be smart about everything you will do. And when I was saying earlier about being out there in the woods every 2 weeks or something like that to get my scent out there, I'm doing that because we all know scent leaves is out there for a while, and they'll pick up on that, and they're going to change their behavior off of that too.
They will.
And your exit and your entrance and exit routes have to be. I like to use the same one every time, so that way it's the same one I know I'm on. And I'm not just going like different patterns like I would like my law enforcement shit. But I'd go out there and I would leaf blowing the leaves from the trail.
Yep.
Trying to make sure I get a nice clean entrance in and out. Do I know leaves are still gonna fall on them? Yeah, but it's less noise that I gotta be out there making.
Yeah. Yeah.
Johnny, how do you feel about that?
I was just thinking to myself, I'd love to see you walking around on public land, just like blowing the leaves out to make a trail. That'd be funnier than shit. But no, like the spots I hunt on public, I do have, like, depending on the wind and everything, there's 2 different ways I take in. Both of them are pretty straightforward. And after scouting it out, the first year I did scouting it out, you start finding where they're going to be bedding down and stuff. So I avoid all those areas, But I have 4 tree stands that I keep up year round on public. Now, I know you're not supposed to. Here, what is it, March 15th? I think they're all supposed to be down and out of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, just because they're a pain in the ass to take down, and no one else does. So fuck them. But what I'll typically do is my favorite spot to hunt is just some ladder steps going up to a little single hang on.
Yeah.
And then I actually saddle hunt right above that.
Mm.
So in my mind, well, first of all, I'm kind of lazy now. So I can use the steps to get up to, hang into the tree. I don't have to do the whole one step.
Yep.
But another part of me is like, all right, this is because I know that when the deer come in, they're going to glance up, not see anything in that stand, where I'm actually about 5 feet above it. and that's worked for me. I mean, I shot 4 deer out of that stand this year, but
Impressive.
that's what I do. It seems to work. The other 3 stands that I have on public, I've never sat in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have them up, and they're there for my buddies if they want to come out. They're in decent spots. There's deer out there, but I mean, I did sit in a double person stand I have with my daughter during bow season.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yep, I did sit there and had fun, but other than that, I sat there once, and then I go to my trusty stand that I always go to.
Yeah. One key factor too that we didn't mention. When you say your bucks, your deer have disappeared. Okay, when does that happen? It's usually like starting to get in November, or just like after rifle season started.
It's
and
like that October lull thing.
Well, what you don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is your homeboys that you've been watching all summer long, right? They won't breed that doe because that doe is his sister. And God made it to where these bucks know not to bang my sister. They're not inbred. So they move on. They go 2.5 miles away. They go 3.5 miles away. And they're on does that they know they can breed. So there goes your deer. That's why you're not seeing the bucks you had on camera. That's why you're saying, well, I'm out here and I don't see the deer that I saw in the freaking beginning of the fall. Yeah, because they moved on. This was their home territory. And they like this area where they are because they grew up here. They were born here. They were born into that herd of doe. And that's their sisters. And yes, they roughhouse, they do stuff, they chase each other around in there. But when that freaking tick and tick goes on in their head and they're like, well, I got to breed, I got to get this done. They know better. God put it into their brain that no, you don't go after what's there. You need to move on. And your bucks go 2.5, 3 miles away. They knock up a doe over there, right? And they're cruising bedding areas that are far. Then that's when you start seeing other bucks show up. But when are they showing up? At night. They're not going to come out in the broad daylight in an area they're not familiar with. Now, yes, you will catch them when the rut is full because they're running through the bedding areas when the does are bedding down in the late morning when they come in from their night hike. And now they're in there and they're like, okay, I know this girl's in here. I've been smelling her bed for the last couple of days. I know by the timing and how fresh that scent is, I can sneak in on her and get her. Okay. Now, then what happens? We move the timeline a little further. Now you start getting into mid-season. Yep, I haven't seen these deer. They're all disappeared, and it fires up again. Why? Because now your homeboys come back to check out who's screwing around where they originally like to hang out. And now you got a strange 8-pointer in there and your homeboy 8-pointers in there. And now they're pissed and they start beating the piss at each other in the middle of the night, which I've heard them sit there and fight. But that's when you start seeing other bucks come in and you start picking up. Okay, now I'm starting to see deer again. We're over that lull, that dead point. But that's the key. That's one of the key factors. And does do it too. Does move on. You may have the same family doe here, but they move on. They go out. They mingle. And, like I said, 2.5, 3 miles through the woods is a long way. And I know this for a fact. It's not bullshit. I know people show me pictures because bucks have unique horns. You may have one that's a certain genetic. Yeah, have you seen? Yep, he was over here the other night, 10 o'clock at night. He's over. Yeah, of course, he's over checking out the other herd. So that's where your deer go. When, oh, man, it disappeared. I can't find a deer to save my ass. Yeah, because they're moving at night, for one. They've moved out of your homeboy territory. And now you got to bank on fooling a buck that's come in from a different area 3.5 miles away or 4.5 miles away, however he decided to go. And that's when you start seeing your bucks show up again. But yes, they go nocturnal, one. They move out of their home territory because they can't bang their sister. And then they eventually work their way back to their home territory. So, Flavors, how are you, brother?
Flavors.
You got to get Brett's address to send him the flavor pack for the blind giveaway because Brett won. I didn't know if you had known, and I'm sorry, I should have texted you.
He can find it. His phone number and address are actually in the truck stop right outside of where Nelson lives.
It's still there?
Write it down there. Yeah,
It's still there.
Yep, I touch it up every time.
Yeah, he's just out there a month ago.
I thought Dave's number was higher than that on the list, though.
No, it was for a little while, but then he stopped talking to us, and so
right. He kind of just drifted. He's a drifter.
Yeah. He's on his own. He's doing his own thing, which is great. I don't necessarily, believe in what he's doing, but for those of you guys that don't know, Dave has an Instagram, Nunchuck Dave.
Yeah.
And he just goes around and shits in random bathrooms. Like, that's all he does.
And he's got a new name. It's Susu Studio, after the Phil Collins song. And it's like Susu Studio Mobile, I'm Decrepit Hunter or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But it's Susudio. It says Susudio in there. And I said, did you get that from the Phil Collins song, Studio? And he's like, no, it means assassin. And I'm like, dude, the only thing that's ass in your name with anything is when you're sitting on the toilet blowing up the church toilet.
Dude, that's the only thing he's killing, is those church shitters.
Killing the tidy bowl man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those fucking little blue bubbles that would swirl around. Those commercials. Yeah, Dave's just nuking them with Taco Bell.
Another thing that kind of gets wrapped up in all of this is the October lull.
Yeah.
And people are kind of they'll get through there.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, they're just not moving where they were moving in September or August, wherever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
They're also going to a different food source.
Yeah.
So they're going to something differently than what they were doing before. So you got to be changing what you're doing, your game plan. You have to be, when you go into the hunting season, you have to have a game plan. But you also have to remember, game plans go to shit quickly. Okay. What was the quote?
Everyone has a good plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah. Or it was Reacher. All good plans are good until, what was it? Till the first fire gets shot or something like that. I can't remember. And then it all goes to shit. I can't remember. He said it was good in Reacher.
It's all fun and games until you lose an eye. That's another one.
Then it's hysterical.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to adapt. Okay?
Nothing towards the blind hunter. Sorry.
Yeah, nothing towards you.
Sorry.
I really want to have surgery on this eye to fix this. I swear. As I'm getting older,
foreskin taken off.
I feel like it's extra foreskin. Like I feel like I can't
add it down below.
Like I have
to. Where it belongs.
Like I'm 31, 32 years old, and I'm just. It takes me longer to wake up and see things in the morning. Like,
when you walk, only when Dave stays the night, though.
No, but have you ever watched Brett walk? He's a little bit to the left side because he's heavier on that eyelid.
I do tend to do a lot more stuff on my left side like this. Like I got it's tight on my left side of my neck, so that's why I lean a lot more to my left. Yeah.
Perfect. Great.
Anyways, how can you fix this? How can you fix
take up golf? You take up golf. You say, screw the deer woods. I've had enough. I'm done freezing my ass off. I've been doing it for over 35 years.
And you pick up golfing.
Take up golf. And you just don't give a fuck about shooting a deer anymore.
That's what I've done.
I am like you.
Perfect. So we agree.
You definitely have to pick something up. I prefer a spotlight.
Oh, nice.
But
how much candlelight power do you use?
Oh, I use 2 million candle power. It's
lumens. You got a lot of lumens. Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
I love lumens. I try and find the strongest lumen flashlight I can buy. I think the one I bought was like $300.
Like a laser. Have you seen that one?
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's like a lightsaber. It's like
just cuts through the darkness.
Yeah.
What was it? My flashlight when I was working the road. I have it somewhere here in my studio. That thing had like 12,000 lumens on it. I'm like, and I'd shine working midnight shift and I was light up fucking football fields with that shit. I was like, yeah, that thing's awesome as shit.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
So what was your question?
How can you fix this? How are you able to combat this? How can you combat the deer moving, the deer changing their behavior and deer changing to go more nocturnal? How can you do that? You can do this in a couple ways. you can reduce the pressure. If you're
Mm.
hunting private, you might be able to reduce it. Public, you're just shit out of luck, really. You just got to find a spot where people aren't really going.
Mm-hmm.
And just hunt smarter, hunt more with the wind. I do think, though, we kind of overplay the wind. I'm not saying that deer pick up scent, because I was reading this article and I think they can read like 1,700 square feet with their nose.
Yeah.
So I've seen countless times monster deer just walk right underneath my tree stand and it was blowing right into them. So I think we do kind of tend to get too carried away with wind and scent and control and all that. I'm not saying it's something that we just forget all about. That's not what I'm saying. Be cautious about it. But I've seen a couple times, countless times actually, deer just walk right underneath my tree stand and not give two shits.
I've seen deer come in with the wind. Mature
Yeah,
bucks
so-
with the wind, not against it, you know?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of talk on scent. I don't know if we'll do a show on that, but I do think we tend to overplay that card a lot. I think it gets overhyped when I don't think there's a whole lot of science to it. I do think, though, especially, and you can take this, maybe Johnny can talk more into about this point, but control your entry and your exits. Like I said, when I go out into the woods, I'm fortunate enough to have private. I'll go out there and I'll scrape up about a mile long worth of leaves and leaf blow it to it. So it's just dirt. I can't, though. I'm forced where I have to come in and out to my hunting woods. I have to enter from this one section of woods, and then I have to figure out to get to my tree stand from there. And I can only get in one way to both my tree stand sets.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, how would you be able to do that kind of on public? Are you able to work on that? Because you're not going out there with a leaf blower.
No. So where I hunt on public, it's mostly swamp. It's hardwoods walking into it, which so much fallen leaves and sticks and all of that. So you just take your time walking that. I can also take a cleared path like through the power lines, but that's 100% swamp. And you better have waders on or something going through there. I mean, so it just, I found all of that out by scouting it out, checking it out in the spring, summer, all the way up until hunting season.
Yeah.
Just, walk around early spring, see where you jump up a deer. Oh, shit, I jumped up 4 does right here, or 4 does, I think. Go ahead and mark that on its possible bedding spot. And just keep walking around, scouting it out. That's what I've done. I know, and it's public. You can't really say where they're going to be coming from. But there's an area where they typically come from heading into private, right where I'm hunting. And, I mean, yeah, you just go out there early season, read the signs, see what it is. What I also love doing that on public, going out after the season. As soon as the season's over, I'm going out, following trails, finding out where they're bedding down and all of that. So, I mean, I'm always in the woods looking, scouting, doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, my onnets is just loaded with pins from just doing that. I'll probably never hunt 90% of them, but each spot has a good way to walk in, good way out, because that's usually the first thing that I'm thinking of is what's the best way to get in here? What's the best way to get out? Because if there's a trail or a path just to help, not only speed time up if you're running a little late like Brett, if you're slept in a little bit, but just to make it easier to drag the deer out too on recovery.
Yeah. Well, it kind of wraps up for tonight's show, really. Really, just one of my main points is stay ahead of the deer. These deer, like I said, growing up, I just thought they were just dumb animals we go out there and shoot. No, these things actually have a brain.
They're glorified. They're glorified forest goats.
Yeah.
And the moment you think you have them figured out and you're going to go out there that morning and smoke them, something stupid is going to change.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times where I've hunted, Johnny, where I've been out there and I had a game plan. I'm like, all right, perfect. Nope, it all went to shit within the first couple days.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they know you more than what you think.
Yeah.
They have a great understanding of where you're hunting, and they'll know the first time a hunter's out there. So stay ahead of the deer. You gotta be smarter than these deer. You're on an away game.
Yep.
How can you beat it? How can you win an away game?
You're on their level, you know.
Mm-hmm. Before I close it out,
the other thing too is if you can mask your scent, with a cover scent, and sneak in there. Because sometimes, man, there's just no way in hell. Where I was hunting, it was so thick. There was lanes that were mowed. I had to walk down the same lanes.
Yep.
Where they came in, but I stayed off the center of the trail. I stayed to the side of the trail, and I always wear rubber boots. Buy a good set of rubber boots, and don't go in there without rubber boots on. But by using the good quality scent, especially during the rut, you spray that down, and you can mask your scent where they're curious to see what walked through versus where they got their nose to the grindstone and they spook. And the other thing I can tell people, honestly, is if you're going to have deer that you think you're bumping or moving out, you're going to have to play detective and figure out where is their safe corner, their safe zone, just like our little libtards tuck themselves into a corner and, it's my safe area.
That's brave place.
What is it?
It's brave place. Safe place was too pussy-like for them, so they had to change it to brave place.
That's why you have that above your studio door.
Is that there? Right? Is that in your studio?
Yeah,
it's right above the door when you walk in.
Yeah.
The brave place?
Yeah, there's a sign up there that says brave place.
I want to see it. Next show, I want to see it on the checkerboard behind you.
Yeah. It's to make you feel empowered and make you feel good about yourself. It's changed. So don't ever not call it a non-brave place anymore. Keep calling it a safe place. Right. You illiterate fuck. It's a brave place. Okay.
Now that we got that out, the deer go to their brave place, but figure out where their brave place is, and then get an unsuspecting friend of yours to go in and play you and walk through there. And then when the deer go to their brave place, wham, you blow their brains out.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
You have any final closing remarks?
Yeah, I got some closing remarks. If you think deer aren't nocturnal, come here to New York, come out with the old Squatch out here in the woods, and I'll show you where they're nocturnal.
Johnny?
No, not really, man.
Good.
Fucking when in doubt, grab the spotlight.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but take the weapons out of the car because they will nail you on that hard.
Yeah, be smart.
That's when you have your buddy in another car with the weapons.
Yeah.
That's true. You could actually do that.
Deer aren't beating you by accident. They're adapting.
Yes.
So there you go.
As soon as they throw thumbs, we're all in danger.
Yep. I just want to tell everyone out there, thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you for tuning in and downloading our episodes. We greatly appreciate it. We got to be doing a show here of showing our appreciation to you guys. I know towards the end of last year, we were doing a lot more heartfelt shows. We're going to be trying to do those more this season. Like I said, this year, So I just want to say thank you to everyone that is a part of the brotherhood, brothers, sisters, everyone. We appreciate each and every one of you. And I just want to say welcome to the brotherhood. With that being said, Squatch, do you mind sending a prayer to close out the night?
Let's do it. Father God, we thank you for our show. We thank you for our viewers that participate in this craziness every week. And we just ask that you bless everybody that show up to the show, watch our show, watch us over the weeks to come. And don't forget about Memorial Day. We bless everybody that's been through that escapade. And we just ask you to sharpen our knowledge and keep us safe through the week. And as always, you got the Squatch, you got Brett Bovin, you got old Johnny up top. And the Whitetail Advantage is out. Shoot straight. God bless you all. Have a good night.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Whitetail Advantage podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.